Alright, let's continue. Last time we worked on the IP adapter, but today, instead of the IP adapter, we're going to take a look at something called Create Sharp Mask. Whenever I give a lecture, I always keep the sharp mask on, and the reason is that there are times later on when you might need to use it, especially when you're trying to create certain effects. Open a new window, double click, and then let's try creating it. Let's load the one labeled Create Chef Mask. This is the Create Chef Mask. Once you've loaded the Create Chef Mask, take one out from the mask to the mask preview. Next, just press the Run button. Then something will be generated. A circle has appeared, right? It's made in the shape of a mask. This is what a mask is. Whether it's white, black, or RGB, it contains some color. Should we try setting this to 400 by 400? Let's try running it at 400 by 400. Right. The circle got bigger. This mask is a shape. So if I want to make a triangle, I can make a triangle. Oh, I meant a rectangle. A rectangle. Sorry about that. Next is triangle. So let's try making a triangle. Triangle. Set the size to 320 by 320 for another one, and then this is the frame size. This refers to the overall size, but since we're using 512, you can just leave it as is. Next, location refers to the position of this shape. You can set it to the center, right? That way it will be centered. If you move it a bit to the side, it will shift over in that direction. It will appear shifted to the right. Since it's the Y value, it will appear shifted downward. If you set it like this, it will move somewhere else. In this way, you can adjust the position. So you can create it in a mask form like this, and now let's try making a video with it. I'll set the center to 257 by 257. Let's press Run again to adjust the center value. If you missed it, you can just reload it. The center is set, so let's try making it circular. Circular. Hold down Ctrl for all the nodes. Then press Ctrl C to copy them. Next, move to the workspace where we were working. If you try Ctrl V, it will paste them. I'll show you how to use these nodes. The ones set as masks can be used by connecting them to the IP adapter. If you look at the node of the IP adapter, there's something called anti-mask, which is the section where you connect and use the mask. When you look at this mask preview, this area is white. The mask invert area was a black space. So if you were to connect this particular component to the mask section, you know, that specific part I had circled earlier in the demonstration, the work will only be done in that area, only in that area. Since it's not a long video, I'll press Control App, reconnect this, and make a short video. I'll reconnect the conditioning and set it to about 32 frames. And then I'll press the Run button. You know the section I was thinking of, right? For example, you can think of it as the principle where the video is only applied to the section with the image at the position you want. That is, only to the area where the mask is applied. Since it's running on the cloud, the workflow is definitely cleaner, and I think it's pretty good. It seems like a great way to study the whole process of Comfy UI as well. Back in the day when there was no such thing as cloud computing, there were a lot of frustrating situations, but now that we have it, there are so many convenient aspects. Personally, I think it's really great. I'll wait until the video is ready. Sounds good. The mask has been applied. The mask has been applied, but if you look around, you can see something even in the black areas. These things are most likely caused by the prompt. So if you delete the prompt, it's likely that only this will appear. Since we've written flower, let's go a step further and try generating it again with a value of about 0.75 here. And I'll also try modifying the prompt a bit. Please copy the prompt. You might need it again later. Just use Ctrl C and Ctrl V to paste it next to it. Go ahead and use Ctrl C and Ctrl V for this. Normally it copies separately like this, so please copy the prompt separately as well. And you can also change the color to green. I'll try modifying the prompt and show you. I'll go ahead and delete everything like 4K high resolution here. Now you just need to click run. Right? Something got added here, didn't it? Still, you can see that something does show up here like this. Anyway, the image is only placed in this area, but actually Animate Diff does have a bit of an effect on the whole image overall. Let me try setting the background to black. Now, only this part is generated spinning around like this. Just like this, right? With the black background, it looks like it's placed somewhere. The aerial view and that kind of vibe are nice too, but overall I think it looks pretty good. When you use a mask node, you can create interesting videos like this. I'll also show you how to control this mask. Move back to the area where you created the mask earlier. Here in the mask, there's something called a frame, and there's also something called glow. Thank you. The frame is for generating multiple images. Glow is for expanding, so you can grow it from a small unit to the pixel size you want. Let's try setting it to 20. Next, we're going to decide the size of the shape, and let's set the size to 120. Starting from 120, let's generate 32 masks, each increasing by 20 pixels of glow. So each one grows by 20 pixels. So as you can see here, starting from 120 pixels, masks are created, each increasing by 20 pixels, right? Let's go ahead and use these as they are to produce a video. First, copy the current node and then carefully move to the specific node we were actively working on earlier. Next, delete the existing node that is currently there and then add a brand new one. Following that, bring in the glow effect once again and let's meticulously reconnect all the necessary lines. After completing that, let's proceed to invert the mask. For the mask itself, let's also connect the anti-mask as well, ensuring everything is properly linked. Alright, now let's proceed to press the run button. What's critically important here is that if the create sharp mask setting is currently set to 32 frames, you absolutely also need to meticulously set the batch in the empty latent image to precisely 32. Furthermore, if you carefully observe here, if you are utilizing a batch prompt with 240 frames, you definitely need to take that into significant account as well and adjust the frames accordingly, ensuring perfect synchronization. You'll see that it increases like this. So you can see that this image is increasing like this. So you can think of it as making it fill up the entire area overall. It increases, right? Interesting, isn't it? So you could also apply this mask to a person, for example. And you could apply it to objects as well. No matter what shape it is, you can load and use this mask. For now, let's connect one more IP adapter and this time try adding some elements to this black space in a different way. We'll do it like this. I'm going to create a new IP adapter node as well. The method to create it is simple. I'll just bring up another node next to this one. IP adapter, and then for the image zoom functionality, since that particular process is quite quick, I will proceed to load the image zoom feature and the corresponding image file as well. I've loaded it. Now, we need to connect them. The IP adapter goes through Animate Diff, then to the IP adapter unit, file loader, and finally to the IP adapter, right? Then this model goes back to the IP adapter again. You just need to move it to the case sampler. But this one needs a unit file loader, right? So this guy also needs to be connected here. The IP adapter should be connected like this. That's right. With this, everything is now connected. Next, I'll set this one to about 0.75 as well. I'll also look for an image to use for this center as well. I think it'll be interesting. I've loaded an eye image. It's an image of an eye. I'll set this one center to the mask. Then I'll put this mask in the anti-mask here. Next, I'll put this paint in the invert. You'll see that two lines are connected like this. Next, the invert and the mask are connected like this. This means that the images are being applied to different positions. So the diamond-shaped eye in the center gradually gets brighter. Then if you put a flower here, the flower would spread out. Then I'll look for a flower and try adding it. For the prompt, I'll only include 4K and high resolution. Next, I added the flower here. I'll go ahead and press the run button. It looks like the effect will make the flower fade out from the center, passing through the paint. When you create videos like this with AI, it's actually quite fun to control each element one by one. And as an AI creator, you can independently showcase your artistic abilities in a new way, almost like media art. So it would be great if you try following along and practicing yourself. It looks like the flower has been nicely transformed in this way and the result turned out well. Next, if you look at this frame, should we try reducing the size a bit more? Let's try setting it to 50 by 50. For 50 by 50, let's make this one 48 by 48. Then since that's 48, this one should also be 48, right? I'll press the run button for 48 now. Great. The frames are a bit denser now, right? So now, since the black section here is tighter, this area for this element becomes wider, and it creates a section that stretches out like this. That's right, we've learned how to control it like this. Today we looked at something called Create Mask. We'll wrap up this part here. If you don't want to use this, you can just bypass it, right? Just bypass it. And if you're only going to use the iPad or just one, you can bypass it as well. That concludes this session.